Someone had told me a few days ago, she said, I feel like the world is just tossing me about. And I really resonated with that. And I think maybe a lot of people can feel like that these days, like there's just one thing after another coming after us, and feeling like we can get blown by the winds and get off of our center. And it just made me realize how grateful I am for these tools that I have, that I'm sure many of you have lots of tools too, but there's certain specific energy tools that I've learned in my life, and is particularly recently, that I've been using all the time. And so I just felt a calling to share them, because I feel like I'm here a lot too of how many people were just dealing with stress and anxiety and depression and overwhelm and all kinds of emotions, given the current state of our world and the current circumstances that we're adapting to every single day. So for this class, I have, I'm going to start out just talking about some, I think of them as like the emergency toolkit. So like tools that you can use like right away if you're kind of like in an overwhelm or super anxious or super upset, like something that's like a go-to tool that you can use in that moment to shift your state of being. And I'm going to give a few of them. I think it's kind of fun. The more the better, right? You have your little toolbox and you can play with them and practice and like pick the ones that you like and throw out the ones that you don't like. So first we'll talk about those. And then we're going to go into a few exercises for grounding, to ground yourself and to recenter yourself. And so there are visualizations, kind of a meditation that I will show you and have you do it in practice. And then my goal is to break us into breakout groups really quick, just for like 2 minutes, so that you have a chance to share with 1 or 2 other people about your experience. So hopefully it's only 2 minutes, so it's not that bad. Maybe you'll be like my son in his middle school and they go in the breakout rooms and sit and stare at each other, which is fine. It's only 2 minutes, but you can just share whatever you want. But I find it helpful when you have these visualizations to kind of verbalize a little bit your experience. It kind of sets it in a little more. And then we'll talk about some daily self-care routines that you can do, and all of the tools that you can use to just really tap into your calm place, your creativity, and your power. And so that we can remember that we don't have to be blown around by those circumstances of the world, that we are co-creators of our world. Of course, there's experiences and circumstances that we react to, but we get to choose how we react. And we also get to choose how we want to be and what vibration we want to be at and how we want to feel. And so I think it takes some intention and some practice and some tools. And so that's what we're going to do today. Of course, we're just here for an hour. And so we're barely just scratched the surface. And so I was inspired to create this, I'm calling it 21-day energy reset, like a deep dive program for people to work as a group, to get energy clearing, to do daily practices. And so I'm super excited about that, just to be able to get deeper into this kind of work. And I will tell you about that at the end of our meeting today. So let's just jump in, and we're going to start with our emergency toolkit. And the first one, it seems very simple, and it is, and it's just taking a deep breath. But it's something I don't know if you guys are aware of, but like when we can get really stressed, we get anxious, or we're just go, 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 our breath becomes very shallow. And that when it's really shallow, it kind of serves to heighten anxiety sometimes. So just taking a moment to stop, taking a deep, full breath, a breath where you completely inhale all the way to the top of your lungs, hold it for a moment and exhale, actually lets you have a dopamine dump. So it's like, one of my teachers told me she's gonna I'm gonna dose myself with dopamine, and that's just taking a deep breath. But I found it's a useful way, and it's something you have all the time. Any moment you need it, you can take a deep breath and give yourself a dopamine dump. So let's start with that. So everyone, you can just close your eyes or keep them open if you like. And you're gonna breathe in and out through your nose. And so just breathe, inhale, and breathe as deeply as you can, all the way up to the very top of your lungs. And then hold it for a moment. And then exhale slowly through your nose and just let all the air out. And then you can do that one more time. So inhale really deeply and slowly through the nose, all the way so the air goes to the top of the lungs. Hold it for a moment and then slowly exhale all the air out. And then just sit and notice if there's a shift. Notice how you feel. It's crazy how often we forget to breathe like that. So it's good to have that as a reminder. The second one is Om. And for those of you who do yoga, you know, like this is something we often do in a yoga class. And there's many purposes for the Om. It's the vibration of the universe. It like brings energies together. If you might have setting intentions, you Om to kind of seed those intentions. But Oming is actually extremely powerful in clearing your energy field. So that's also what's happening when you Om. You're like clearing your entire space. And so any energy that's around you that doesn't belong to you kind of just automatically releases out, and you just come more in your energy space. One way that you know if you have energy in your space that is not yours is if it doesn't feel good. So if you're having any kind of emotion or sensation or feeling that doesn't feel good or comfortable, then it means it's not your energy, because your own energy in your space feels light and bright, and you feel calm and you feel centered when you're in your own. Of course, we're almost never only in our own energy, but it's just it's a good way to gauge that if you're super stressed or feeling like out of sorts, that there's energy that's in your space that's not yours. And so Oming is another tool in the emergency toolkit that can help kind of get you back in your own space. So let's practice that. We'll just Om together 3 times. So let's take a deep breath. Just allow yourself to be aware of the energy around you, around your space. Your aura goes about 2 feet in front, on top, and the bottom and behind, all around like a little bubble. Just notice how it's feeling now after doing these few simple tools. You can open your eyes and can move around a little bit. The next tool in the toolbox is, maybe it'll feel silly, I don't know, but it's singing your name to yourself. And if we were together in person in a small group, we would sing everyone's name in the group to them. It's really potent, but it's also really potent to do it for yourself. And what's happening, our name has an energy signature, a vibration. And so when we sing our own name, it's kind of like calling your energy back to yourself. Because when we go out in the world and we're busy and we're doing our stuff, we're leaving our energy. When we're in a dream space, you know, we're scattering our energy all the time. And so singing your name is a way to call your energy back to yourself and to be like strong in yourself. One thing I would say, if you sing your name and it doesn't feel good, you don't like the way it feels as you're singing it, then maybe you want to have a different name. Like maybe your name, because it's super important that your name vibrates with you, that you feel like in coherence with it. So it doesn't mean you have to totally change your name, but I'll say for myself, I started doing this, chanting my name, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I learned about this and I would do it all the time, and I would chant Bethany and Bethany, and it felt really good. And a couple of years ago, I just shifted, and like it didn't feel good or sound good. Like my energy shifted and changed so much that I don't chant Bethany. I still like my name. I still have people call me by Bethany, but when I'm chanting, I have a different name. It's Sarafina. That's like my higher self name. So just putting that out there. So we're going to practice. I'm going to mute myself. Hopefully you guys don't have people around and you don't have to feel so nervous. It's fine. Just like sing your name as loud as you can. It's good to sing it like 3 times. And then just notice, and as you're singing it, kind of like visualize calling your energy back to yourself. Okay? So are you guys ready to do that? All right. I'm going to mute myself because I'm going to sing it too, but you don't need to hear me. Okay. So I'm curious to hear, maybe we can put some in the chat for later. We can have time after for a little Q&A, because I would love to hear how that feels for you. For me, it's like so potent. I just feel like so much back to myself and so on center. And you can do it all the time. I do it in the car. I do it around my house. My kids, oh, that's awesome. Melissa said it made her cry. It's super potent. And I also recommend, if you're with a group, to do it for each other, because it just amplifies it even more. Your name for each other. Simple tools, but they're so potent and powerful. So, okay. Ditto. Yay. I'm glad. Okay. Next one. So this is for moments of like kind of extreme emotion. Like if you're in like the depths of grief or rage or sadness, or some like super intense emotion is coming up, it's really, really helpful to go be on the earth. Like if you have somewhere outside, and put your forehead, literally put your forehead on the earth. When I do this, I'm like in child's pose with my forehead on the earth, and just connect with the earth and ask the earth to just like take all your pain, take all the suffering, take whatever is coming up, and just let it flow through. Because the fact is, all of these emotions are beautiful. There's nothing wrong with any emotion. And but we only suffer, there's only pain when it's not moving, when it gets stuck. And so this way of like connecting with the earth and just letting it release is another really key one that I highly recommend. And then the last one for like the emergency tools, and I find this works if you're feeling like, it could be anxiety, like, but it's not always anxiety, because it's not necessarily related to fears or anything. But if you feel like a lot of energy, like too much energy in your body, or you feel really amped up, this next one is kind of a version of lion's breath, but it involves holding your breath. And I just find this really, really helpful, especially to help manage anxiety and like high stress. So the way you do this one, you're just gonna breathe in deeply through your nose, kind of like the first breath we did, all the way to the top of your lungs. And then you hold your breath for as long as you can. So for however long is comfortable, but you want it to be as long as you can. And you can keep your eyes open or closed. And then when you can't hold your breath anymore, you open your eyes and stick out your tongue and exhale, like the lion's breath. So, so yeah, let's try that. We can try it, maybe we'll do it like 2 times, okay? So you're gonna just wanna sit up, taking a deep breath. all the way to the top of the lungs, and then hold it. And just hold it as long as you can, as long as it feels comfortable. You don't want to strain yourself, but just go to your edge. And then when you're ready to release, you just open your eyes, stick out your tongue. And you look silly, but it doesn't matter. And let's try that one more time. So inhale deeply, all the way to the top of the lungs, and then hold your breath. Hold it for as long as you can. And then when you can't hold it anymore, just open your eyes, stick out your tongue, exhale. If you need to like scream and run around, that works too, because I do that sometimes. And feel free, I like this people adding in the chat. If you have any anything you want to add about that in the chat, it's great. So those are kind of like the basic tools in the toolbox for the emergency kit. One thing I will say though, there are sometimes these tools are super potent, they are powerful, they're simple, but they really work. But sometimes, and it just depends on what's happening, what the energy is, what's going on in your world, sometimes it can feel like nothing works. Like there'll be days I do this stuff, and I'm doing this stuff all the time, and I feel better, and like I'm shifting my vibration, choosing a different experience, and it's great. And other times it does not matter what I do or how many times I do all of these tools, they don't seem to work. Like I can get myself into a state and like nothing works. And so that would be like, I guess the next tool, if you've tried all of these and they are potent and they do work, but if in those moments where they don't work, then the tool is just to be in your presence of being, like just accept, like this is where I am. Like there's some reason for this experience to be happening now. It's here. It's good if I can shift it out, if I can do something to release it, to like choose a different vibration. But if it's here and I'm doing all these things and it's still here, then I'm just going to be present with it. I'm not going to like get down on myself. I'm not going to, well, I will do this, tell myself all these tools are bullshit. They don't work, but I remind myself that that's not true. Like sometimes it's just a matter of being kind to yourself, being present with what is, and just kind of being in acceptance. And we all know that these states shift. Like we don't live in this most of the time, right? So it's just kind of being present. And usually when you're present to it and accepting of it, it shifts on its own. Yeah. Dancing, yes. I'm talking about that too, Melanie, because yes, dancing, awesome. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to these are tools that I think are good to use every day to practice. They're skills that might seem simple at first, but they can be very multi-layered and you can learn new things as you do it. And it's a good experience to have as a part of a daily practice if you feel drawn to it. And so the first one is having a grounding cord. So we're gonna do this. It's a little meditation and the visualization I'm gonna have you guys do. And then hopefully, I'm a little nervous about the breakout groups, but hopefully they'll work. I've heard sometimes you get kicked out, and if you do, you can just use the login to come back, but hopefully it'll work out. Okay. All right, so everyone, just you wanna sit comfortably. If you do have your feet on the ground, it's nice. And close your eyes. You can take a few deep breaths just to come back to your inner world, come back to your center. Kind of notice the feeling of your body on the chair or the cushion or wherever you're sitting. Notice your breath. And then visualize below you that you see, you can use your imagination and just pretend that you see a very large rope. And this rope is coiled and it's very, very long. And one side of it has a little hook and the other side of it has a big anchor. You can just see that rope. And now put your awareness or your attention on the very base of your spine. That's your first chakra. The base of your spine, right where you're in between your sitting bones. And just visualize, imagine that you take that end of the rope that has the hook and just hook it onto the base of your spine, to your first chakra. And once you do that, once you see that happening, you can take the other end that has the anchor and you can throw it down. So you let that anchor go down into the earth and just watch it. It doesn't take effort. It just happens naturally and you can watch it as the anchor just begins to be drawn farther and farther down into the earth. And you just watch it as it unravels. It goes through all the layers of the earth. It just keeps going down until eventually it comes to the very center of the planet. And you can see that anchor and just let it hook in, let it anchor to the center of the planet. This is grounding yourself to the earth. This is being grounded. It's what people mean when they're talking about being grounded, that you're connected to the planet, that you're connected to the earth. And you can see that rope connected there and you can even like tug on it. Sometimes for people, you know, it like won't go in, there's other energy around, so you can like let that energy go and just let it hook all the way in. Sometimes it has a hard time hooking into the base of the spine. But just with your visualization and your imagination and your attention, just let it be connected. The base of your spine and the center of the planet. Just let yourself be grounded. And once you're grounded, the earth will just very naturally draw to it anything that's in your system, in your energy field, in your body that doesn't belong to you. It just will start falling down the grounding cord. So you might see that, there might be images in your head, there might be thoughts that come up. Just let them fall down the grounding cord. You might see people or colors. Just whatever you see, just be present and let it release out of your system. And when you feel like it's done releasing and you're feeling refreshed because you're in your own energy, you can take a deep breath and you can open your eyes. You can move around a little bit. It's nice to stand up if you need to. So I am going to, I'm going to make a breakout room so that there should be 2 people in each room. And we're just going to have 2 minutes. So each person will have a time to share. And again, it's no big deal. Like just say what happened. You could just say hi if you don't feel like sharing. It's fine. But it is helpful to talk about it. I think it gets more potent. So I'm going to create the breakout rooms. And We're gonna say to come back in 2 minutes. And so you've all been invited to join the breakout rooms. I guess if you're still here, you didn't join one, but that's okay. It might be confusing. And if any of you guys are here and you want to share, we can do that too. You can unmute yourself if you want. Hey everyone, did it work for you guys to do those breakouts? It seemed like maybe some, nah, maybe we won't do that again. That was an experiment. But I would love if anyone wants to add in the chat. Sorry, Sheila, that no one showed up. Yeah, maybe that's too much complication. But if anyone wants to chat about what was happening for you in the grounding cord, I would love to hear, and we won't do any more breakout rooms. And you can also unmute yourself. Great feeling of traction in your spine. That's good.
I didn't.
Go on.
We came in late. I came in late. What were you asking?
We just, number one, decided breakout rooms don't work so good. They're too complicated.
Okay.
So I was just saying, if you want to share here, you could do it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. A release of ether coming down. That's awesome. Wondering how it would be in an anxious moment of feeling more untethered. Hopefully if you're feeling untethered, that's the time to do the grounding cord. So hopefully it would make you feel more grounded. But sometimes it might be easier to ground than others. interesting to see what was released. Yeah, somebody else said that, like sometimes the things that release you weren't even aware of. Like one time I was releasing like boyfriends from high school that I had never thought about in 30 years. Like it's just shocking some of the energies that might be in your system. It's a reason to do this all the time because you're always, always needing to clear out. Well, I'm glad the breakout was good for some people.
It was good. Well, I just had one person in mind. There's two of us.
Yeah, I think some people didn't, whatever. I'm not gonna, maybe in a smaller group. I will try that again.
I liked it.
It worked for me.
All right, good to know. Visualization work, released colors. Yes, a lot of times, because a lot of times the energies show up like colors. And sometimes if I see colors, I ask them, what is that? And usually I'll get something in my mind. It'll tell me what it is. So if you're curious, sometimes you don't need to know what it is. You just want to release it. Let's see. A few people like the breakout. That's good to know. That my intellect got a little stuck on the concept of a hook being a painful type of thing. That's a good point. And as we go, like in my 21-day program, I was already thinking about this because the grounding cord, that's just, the rope is just one idea, but there's many ways you can do a grounding cord. And so, and you can play with what works for you. It could be like a tree, a limb, like a beam of light. It could be anything. I've heard people talk about like a shark, like shark scales, like whatever your imagination can make up, you can make for the grounding cord. So it's good if you notice something doesn't feel good, try a different visualization. Awesome. Releasing worries and family stuff. Sometimes you'll see like literally, I've seen it like it's a slide and there was like, my family's going down the slide. It's 'cause usually it's the people closest to us who are in our energy field, right? Which is normal. Like we share our energy space with people, especially people close to us. But there are times when like if we're taking on too much, we can get overwhelmed and we're taking on all of their problems and all of their stress. And like, it doesn't make you less close to someone to not have them in your space. But if you let them release out of your space, you can actually be more close because you're not going to be so triggered and you're going to be able to see them for who they are versus the energy that's getting you overwhelmed because it doesn't feel good. If it's their energy, it's going to feel good in their space, but it doesn't feel good in your space. Lots of third eye visualizations. Awesome. Cross and very cool. Pain at first. Awesome. I see yours, Kristen, that the fear that you felt about our RBG dying was a sadness too. But it's nice to let go of fear too. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're holding on to it. Awesome. Wonderful. I'm so glad you guys, seems like that was a potent exercise. So the next thing we're going to do is called centering yourself. So it's an exercise about kind of like, it's, people say be grounded. This is how I see be grounded, like connected to the planet. When people talk about being centered, centering yourself or being in your center, the way that I think about it or visualize it is being in the middle of my head. So like if you do yoga, they talk about put your awareness in your third eye. That's your sixth chakra. That's like that's where your clear seeing is, your clairvoyance, but it's your command center. Like it's how you control your energy and where you can move from. And a lot of times that center also gets influenced heavily by other people, and especially other people who want to control us. And this happens like with like political things, with like advertisements, with other people's demands. Like it's kind of like we're constantly being flooded with other energies. And if you're not clear and if you're not centered and clearing your own space, then you can just be like kind of unconscious going along with other people's stuff. And maybe it's not even what you want to be doing or not even true for you. So the first step is just getting really clear about what's happening in the center of your head. So that's the next exercise we're going to do. So I'm going to have everyone close your eyes again. And then just take a few deep breaths. Let's see. Just muting everyone. And so start to visualize the very center of your head, like exactly in the middle of your brain. And then imagine that there's a chair there. And you can make it like any kind of chair you want. Could be like a cozy, comfortable chair or your favorite kind of chair. Any chair that kind of comes up for you. And then imagine yourself sitting there on your chair in the middle of your head. And again, this is your command center. This is like your command post where you can sit in the middle of your head and have clear seeing about what's happening in your energy field, what's happening around you. So just once you start to really see yourself there, this little version of you sitting in the chair in the middle of your head, you can just start to look around. And then maybe you see it like a room or a space, however it arrives that you can see it. Like check out what is going on here in the center of your head. Are you starting to have a lot of thoughts or someone talking to you? Are you seeing images of people? That means there's people in your head. And so right now for this moment, we're gonna invite them to exit. So I like to just imagine that there's a door on the side of my head, and I just ask any voice, any person I see, anyone who's in there to just exit. Because this is the space that's just for you. Sometimes people talk a lot about like a critical voice or hearing voices in your head, like people talking that are like, you think it's you think it's just, oh, I'm just hard on myself or I'm mean to myself. But often these are voices that are not yours. And so when you can kind of get clear about what these voices are, you can ask them to leave your space. You get to control, you get to decide who gets to be in your space. And then you can kind of look around again, maybe it's a room or whatever it is, the space, just kind of see what does it look like? I've had people describe sometimes they feel like it's like a dirty attic, it's all dusty, it's like they just haven't been in this space for a long time. So you can, if it feels like that, if it feels lifeless, and you can like do things to like spiff it up, you can put what you want in there, make it fun. You can make like a disco ball. You can make lights, like whatever feels nourishing and fun and good to you. Like you can create this space how you want it to be. And sometimes you might notice like if there's a lot of energy or other demands or other people in your head, it happens often, like we just leave, like we're not even in our own body. Like there's so much other stuff there and we just like leave. So you might notice that too, if like maybe you come in there and then you just get kicked out or you don't even notice yourself there at all. So just kind of be very conscious about going there, taking up your space in your center, being in the middle of your head and creating it a space that feels good and to you, that you want to be in. And then you can take a few deep breaths, kind of come back to this time and place and open your eyes. And I would love to hear in the chat if anyone wants to share what you saw. Alone in a clean addict. That is awesome because you actually want to be alone. When it comes to the center of your head, it's good if you're alone. Yeah, outside of nature, I love that. Like, yeah, the room was just one idea. It can be wherever you find yourself. Oh, child self was there in the room. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful and can be very healing if there's other aspects of you there. And those ones get to be there because that's you. Great lighting, circular, I like that. Cavernous white room on one side and couldn't see the other side. That's interesting. To me, I would think if you can't see the other side, that there's energies there that's blocking it. That's maybe energy that's not yours. So I would just ask that energy to go down the grounding cord. Different compartments, I like that. And that you could see 360 degrees from the chair. That's super powerful too, because this is idea about being in your sixth chakra, your clear seeing, clairvoyance. It is the idea that you can see 360, like you can see everything that's around. Like when you're centered in yourself, you see what's going on and you can be like a master of your energy, right? Because you see, even like the person who's saying, well, I can see the white, but I can't see this other part. Well, that's mastery because you see what you don't see and then you can release it and then you can have clear seeing. And when you have clear seeing, you can take action, right? A lot of times if we're not seeing clearly, it's because we're unconscious and then we're being influenced and just reacting to things versus like making choices about things. If that makes sense. What do we got? Water is my place to be calm. That's cool. Just like let it go fly, let the anxieties flow down. Beautiful beach and holding hands. Oh, with many Jessicas, young and old, we were in a circle. That's so beautiful, Jessica. I love that. It makes me want to cry. So beautiful. Garden, comfy chair. That's awesome. I love that you guys have like such these beautiful things. When I first looking at the center of my head, it wasn't so pretty. There was like a lot of people in there that weren't supposed to be there. There was like dusty stuff, but it's awesome. Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Okay. So those are, like I said, those are just very basic tools, the grounding cord and being in the center of your head, but I find them super potent. And so kind of going into the next section about easy self-care routines to kind of prevent the stress and overwhelm and to be centered and grounded. I highly recommend if you resonate with these, and maybe you don't, like there's tools, all kinds of tools, and there's things for everyone. But if you resonate with these, I highly recommend kind of making it a practice, like a daily practice to use them and practice, because they shift over time and you get new understandings and new things that maybe were unconscious start coming up, and you're clearing yourself all the time. And that helps because we're always getting in new energies. We're always taking in stuff. And so it does take some kind of conscious intention to clear yourself, to kind of constantly. It's like you find your space, you lose your space, you find your space. And the more you practice, the more you know, like, oh, I'm in my space now. Or like, oh no, someone else, I just got knocked out. I'm off center, but I'm aware of it. So then I can go back. It's kind of the idea. As far as other easy self-care routines to prevent stress, obviously I'm going to be an advocate. I own a yoga studio. I'm going to be an advocate for yoga, but it's so potent and so powerful. And I think maybe a lot of people, people that have been practicing yoga for a long time know, but other people, if maybe you haven't done too much yoga or you've only heard a little bit about it, you think that's just something for stretching. But yoga's an ancient system that works on our energy field. And like, you don't even need to do anything. It's just, especially if you're with a teacher who has a good sequence in their class, which all the ones at Sukha do, just the sequencing in the yoga poses and the yoga poses themselves are working on, obviously on your physical body, but they're working on your energetic body. Like, they're helping you to release blockages, helping your energy to move, helping to go into the center channel. Like, it's just happens automatically. And Melanie, she's in the class, she's here today. She was sharing with me because she can see aura. So aura is the energy that's around, it's your energy field. Like, it's the energy that's around you. And some people can visually see them. And Melanie says, like, one of the things she would love about being in person in yoga classes is like, she can literally see them shift. Like, so in the beginning of the class, people's auras look one way, and towards the end, they're like different colors, they're brighter, like they've shifted. Like, so you're literally shifting your energy just by doing a yoga practice. And there's many other practices, but the one that I'm aligned with is yoga. So that's why I'm sharing that. So highly recommend that. Then just having like morning rituals, just taking time, and this kind of also goes to like putting yourself at the top of the list, like taking time. It's ideal in the morning because you can set your energy for the day. So like when you first wake up, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be like not take much time at all, but like take time to meditate, takes a few deep breaths, like ground yourself, set your intentions, like how you want the day to go. Like, it makes a huge, huge difference to do that in the morning. And it's so easy to like get, you know, especially for people, you got families and you got to go to work and you got all this stuff, or you pick up your phone. Like, a lot of people ground to their phones, you know, like instead of, it's not the best place, you know, when the first thing you do is look at your phone, like then all your energy is grounding in there. It's really nice if you can just take a little bit of time apart, take some breaths, ground, set your intentions. Very powerful. The other, so then Melanie in the chat mentioned it earlier, like dancing, listening to, like, dancing is super also powerful. We did the other day with Kara and Madi, we did a little new moon ceremony at the studio, social distance with only 3 of us. And then we just danced, and it was like so amazing to move the energy, move your body. And I think Kara said, like, I haven't moved like that in so long. It's like, we could do that every day. Like, there's nothing stopping us from dancing. And people tell me all the time I should dance. And I used to think, I hate it. Like, I hate dancing. Why you tell me to do that? But because it makes me think about like awkward middle school years. But when you just like don't think about what anyone else is doing and you don't worry about it, you just move your body. It's like a really powerful way to move energy. The last one I will share is because Madi told me I should tell you. This one is also very potent, and this is using sex magic. So using sexual energy to clear your field is probably the most potent kind of way to clear any energy out of your space that's not yours. You have to be careful. So if you're sharing your sexual energy with a partner, which there's obviously a multitude of positive benefits and reasons for that, but when you're sharing with a partner, you're also completely threading your energy with that person. So it's kind of the opposite of clearing your space. It's a good thing to be aware of. Like, anytime you're sharing sexual energy, you're taking on the other person's energy. So if you're a sensitive person, you got to be careful about that and intentional about releasing it out. But if you want to just be clearing your own energy field, sexual energy by yourself, very, very potent, very powerful, highly recommend. And you do it like with intention. So you with intention say, I'm using this energy to clear my field, to clear my energy space. That's a very good self-care practice. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or anything coming up about that? We can unmute. Yeah, Allie.
I just wanted to thank you for sharing all of those. And I really support any further sessions that you want to offer on all this stuff. I missed the very first part of this day where you were talking about the 21-day. But
Exactly.
I have super powerful memories of meditating with you when I was 25, you know, years ago, being like, what's happening? Like, this is totally, so these practices have totally shifted my world. And I would love to continue practicing them like with you and in community. So.
Well, I am. So that's what so the 21-day energy reset, that's like what it's all about. And it's a program. So we're basically there's going to be like a recorded vault. So like people can do stuff on their own time. And there's like every day there's going to be a new video with learning different skills that are going to be recorded, like these kind of skills, but going a lot more in depth. But then there's going to be like a private Facebook group. So everyone who's in the group can share in there and like talk about their practices and how it's going. And you'll get paired up with another person. So it's kind of like your accountability partner, but also that person where you share with how it's working. And then we'll have 3 times, so it's 21 days, but we'll have 3 live group calls. So where there's like for Q&A and support, and also doing group energy clearings. So I'm super excited about it. It's Madi's gonna there's a link to sign up. Madi's gonna, if you hear Madi, put it in the chat, the link. It's like there's a link with all kinds of information about exactly what goes on and what's happening. And there's like different levels. So you can just join at the basic level where you get like all the things I was talking about, the touch point and the live call and the recordings. And then if you want, there's like I'm not a marketer, but whatever, it's called the VIP level. You can actually add on 3 private sessions. So the private sessions could be like, it could be a session with me doing energy work. It could be a yoga for people, because a lot of this program, we're going to focus on yoga and the chakras and how yoga works in the energy system. So if you're someone who hasn't really done much yoga, you could get like a private yoga session. We also there's an herbalist. She owns her name's Amy McAlvey, and she owns Her Vital Way, which is amazing. And so she's going to have recorded talks about using herbs to manage your stress. And she does private sessions too. So there's like a lot of options. It's all in the link to the energy reset program and the pricing and everything. And I'm also, because I'm doing the marketing thing, which I don't like to do, but they tell me I should do it. You guys get, there's a promo code, which I think promo code, $200 off the whole program. So it's like whatever level you sign up, you get $200 off. So I forget the first level is like $397. So if you get $200 off, it's $197. So it's, I think, pretty good deal for all the stuff you get. And you can check it out more and see everything that is involved. But it would be super fun to have you guys, and I'm very excited about it. And we have a couple more minutes if anyone has any other questions or anything else you want to share, anything else coming up around. Oh, the other thing is it includes unlimited yoga classes too. And I forgot, if you want to add on, because Charlene is doing a 4-week intro to mindfulness meditation program, so you can add that on to the energy reset and get a discount, or you could just do the meditation by yourself. That's on Sukha Yoga events page. That's also starting in October. So I'll be at 4. Charlene, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Do you want to say something about it really quick?
Well, the way that I really got hooked into meditation was because I was in a really small, intimate group. And what was magical about that is that we were able to share what we experienced and we could talk about what we questioned. And so my idea is that to keep the group small, I mean, if we need to have more than one group, that's possible, but so that as we go through our meditations, where there'll be about 2 to 3 meditations each session, we have time for question and answers and time for talking, so that you can share if you choose to. It's always optional, but for me, that's what made it magical. There's a lot of other courses that are out there that you can do online, but what's missing is the interaction part. And so that's a big thing, you know, during this pandemic time, being connected with others and being able to share, just like how we were sharing today or doing breakout rooms, that's really the magical part. So I'd love for everybody to consider it, and I'd love to welcome you into it.
So much good stuff going on at Sukha Yoga. It's very exciting. The other thing I would say, that promo code is only good, so I haven't like even put this program out to the public yet, so it's going to be good for the weekend, and then on Monday it's going to be regular prices. So it's only you guys that get the $200 off, just to put that out there. And we just have a couple more minutes if anyone has any other questions or anything they want to share. Thank you all for being here and for participating. I really appreciate your presence. I can feel your energy. It's really lovely. Glad you liked it. Yes, the general admission includes virtual yoga classes too. It includes, if you look at the link, it tells you everything. There's a lot of things. There's also bonus videos. The VIP just adds on 3 private sessions, but everything else is included in the general admission.
Bethany, I have a question for you. This is Elena.
Hi, Elena.
Hi. So going back to our tools and kind of when we get to the place of just accept what's going on, say we've tried everything and we're just overwhelmed, and that resonates with me. Do you have a mantra that you use, or what do you kind of say to yourself in those moments where you're so overwhelmed, you've tried everything, it doesn't work, and you just need to accept what is?
That's what I tell myself. Well, first what will happen is I notice the thoughts, and the thoughts are, this is all, I think I said it, this is all bullshit. These tools are stupid. It happened to me earlier this week. I was like all stressed out and I was trying all the tools. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm teaching a class on these stupid tools that don't work. Like, what is the point of all of this? But I notice those thoughts, and then I tell myself, those are just thoughts. It's in this moment now, it's not working, doesn't mean it doesn't work. And so like, what I'll say is just be present. Just, it's okay if it doesn't feel like it's working. I tell myself, it's okay, you're okay. And then I call a friend. That's the other one. And that's another part of like why I wanted to do this program, to like really create community and support for each other, because that is a huge thing we need too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys all so much. Like I said, I will send the recording out if you want to be able to listen to the meditations to practice them again. You're totally welcome to. I'll give those to everyone. And it's just been lovely. I'm very happy to have you here, and thank you all. That will be the end. I'll feel free. Everyone has my email because I emailed you, so feel free to email me with any other questions, any other stuff that comes up. I'm happy to connect around that. Right.
Thanks, Bethany.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bethany.
Bye.
You
Thank
too.
you.
See you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. It was awesome.
Bye. Thank you, Allie. So good to have you. I can feel your energy.
Love
See
you.
you,
Bye.
Allie.
So good to see you all. Bye.
Yes.
It's fun to see the studio too, Kara.
Yeah. I love that the props are right behind you.
Fun that, like, oh, hey, Suzanne, I didn't see you. Did you come later? Yeah, I'm glad you're, sorry I didn't say hi earlier. Yeah.
She had her name on, not her video.
Oh, I guess I missed. Well.
It felt like everybody was here at Sukha.
Oh, awesome.
And I just wanted to say too, like, I have not gotten to like take a class with you before, and like your voice is very like instructional. Like everything in me wants to listen when you speak, and and like the teacher, the guide was like really coming through to me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That
I
was
appreciate
wonderful.
that. It's good to hear. I appreciate that.
You good to see you guys.
So good. All right. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful weekend.
Yay.
See you all soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.